Ugh. Don't know why I never thought about playing Mark Ribier in some of these videos. Number one, he's fucking amazing. If you don't know Mark, I will link to Mark's channel. He's got 2.17 million subscribers. I remember finding him at the dawn of COVID. The absolute dawn of COVID. He had like 41,000 subscribers, and I was actually appalled he had less subscribers than me. If you don't know, he's the Loop Daddy. He is the Loop Daddy. I've seen him live in Philly, and it was the best concert experience of my life. But yeah, no, we're here with the FiiO SP3s. Can you see them? Because I know I was playing with the camera, and I know if in wide field of view, everything's very small over there. So you may not. Hold on, let me get. Oh God! Oh God! Oh, here they are. You a little baby. You a little tiny metal fucking baby. So FiiO's first speakers. They just came out with the headphones that I really liked, which isn't their first headphone, but it's their first real headphone. And if this is a trend, it's going to be some shit, boys. Because these speakers are designed to be on a desk. They're $300, so they're not super cheap. And they lack a ton of like livability features that I would like to see in them. But at the same time, I dedicated enough space to put them in here in the speaker testing arena and jam. And let me tell you, I just got back a couple days ago from Munich, and these were in Munich with me. I brought them. 10 pounds. I know exactly how much they weigh because it's 8 pounds for the speakers, then the power brick, which is on the floor there, and the accessory wires, which it came with, which, by the way, look at these. FiiO is like... I feel like FiiO's been catching some flack. Their DAPs have been like far behind, and their IEMs lately haven't been the greatest. I'm actually trying to collab with them on an older IEM. So like they're like, the only thing they've got going for them right now is all this new shit, and of course like BTR7. Little portable, little Bluetooth things. Like look at the furniture on this. I need to take this to show everyone. So obviously silicone caps to cover the RCAs. I don't want to lose those. Desktop speakers. Used them as a desktop speaker in Munich, and then put them on the table and sat all the way over there and watched anime, and I was actually getting up constantly to lower the volume because I'm like, oh fuck, someone's going to complain. Pretty sure there was no one else on my floor, but I kept lowering it regardless. Because these speakers... Whenever I travel, I take a set of speakers with me. Just, you know, something small. iLoud Micros, $200, $200 to $300. Also like a $200 to $300 speaker. Really small plastic, super resilient. I actually took the OS 10s with me to Chicago. Those are the Swans that are never in stock, so they may as well not exist. The Swan OS 10s are fantastic. Packed those a little bit bigger than these. But then I took these to Munich because I'm like, you know what? They're a little bit smaller, a little less space in my bag, and I do need to test them anyway. Every time I got back from the show, I knew that the little fucking FiiO speakers in my room were better than 65% of the speakers I heard at the Munich high-end show. Because it's the same with every high-end show. Just some of the rooms suck. And it isn't just about, oh, they don't have proper room treatment or proper placement. It's just some speakers... Like, we're all beautiful, unique snowflakes. We're all beautiful, unique snowflakes. And some of us think that what sounds good, doesn't. I feel bad for that, Brooklyn. There's a set of Broadmans there. If this video is, I'm not sure the time scale, because I haven't released the footage from Munich yet, because I do full face reveal stuff. I'm like, I whip it out, and I'm like, hey, so I haven't like done the proper announcement video for that, which I should do and get like 1 million views on it. Well, I'm aiming for 50,000 views, but like, I don't know where this video is fitting in all this. So I want to do a little bit of talk about Munich and a little bit of talk about these speakers, or a lot of bit of talk about these speakers, because they are just enough. They're right at the line. If they were $400, I would not recommend them. If they were $200, it would be buy. The only problem I have is that the OS 10s, when they do exist, and they're under $200, and overall are better than these speakers. There you go. I'm just going to say the Swans are better than these speakers at nearly half the cost, or less than half the cost. 250 to 170. I think they're 170-ish. The thing is, these are amazing speakers. They have their flaws. There's port chuff. There's no remote control. There's no Bluetooth. There's no digital inputs. You can tell it's FiiO's first speaker. By the way, RI cable, the Italian cables. They sent me these, so I can link to those. You could tell they're FiiO's first speaker. And hold on, I need to make them RGB a thing. So let's see. No, I want to double click. There we go. There we go. Get that real. Now they're worth every amount of money. There's whatever it is. How many liras, how many euros, they're worth it because they RGB together. The tweeter in this is spectacular. I'm sorry, let's say it again. They are spectacular. The driver is obvious, like here, I'll pull out an OS 10 because I'm saying that these are better, but they're also bigger speakers. So it's not like, is it a fair comparison to compare like, it's a monster in comparison to this. But I think up here, these tweeters, very similar. And the bigger box on this gives it the better low end. My body is broken. My body is so broken. Metal shell, interesting design. Like, I don't know if I hate it. Do I hate the fact this is metal? I thought for sure, since I put this in my checked bag, I thought I was going to get a letter, be like, hey, yeah, you have giant metal boxes in your checked bag, and we're not going to be able to scan through those, so they're bombs and you're arrested. But they didn't stop them at all. This is the slave speaker. It's marked L. You get one input here. It is a funky, weird cable. It's like a DIN connector with a ton of pins. The reason it has a ton of pins may or may not be because of the DSP for the tweeter and mid-range, but it has a ton of pins because it has RGB LEDs that it has to control via the cable, which is relatively short. It's not really designed for like setup in a room, but I'll say this. You could set this up in a room. In fact, you can make these your front channel speakers for just like a TV. I have a TV. I have a TV, and my wife or my husband or my mistress or my grandma or my sweet, 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 sweet grandma wants little black or silver. There's going to be available in silver, which I wanted them in silver, but they were going to come out so late. I'm like, no, give them to me now. In our living room, carbon fiber surround, silk dome behind a metal mesh. This is, you can see the waveguide just based on the textures of this. This particular speaker, it doesn't quite line up the metal front and back. There's just it's a little bit like cockeyed. The bottom has replaceable rubber mats, which you could either have this one, which is flat, or the angled one when you put on your desk, which is where most of you are likely going to put this, because there's no remote control. You have to adjust the volume on that speaker, which we'll get to in a second. So here's an issue I have. Okay, you've got the RGB like clear here, but if you look, it's kind of flat, but you really have to sort of put a foot on it. You have to. You can put it, you could not put it there and it'll just still sit fine because it slightly tapers back here. But I feel like you're going to need to pick either the flat silicone pad or the angled silicone pad, which luckily stays on this, which is nice. Let's look at the actual powered unit, because it's going to be more. I am DACing this, by the way. APOS asked me to set it up with the FiiO, what the hell's the model number of the all-in-one with the screen, the vertical screen. Q7? Is it the Q7? Is that an Audi? That's also an Audi, I think. Anyway, I'll link to the unit that they're talking about, because it's designed to sort of go along with that all-in-one, screen. But fuck it. Here. So I've got the Black Ice Magic DAC. Is it called the Magic DAC? No, it's the Glass FX Tube DAC. So I'm actually tube preamping this with a tube DAC because I heard them solid state the entire week. And I want to have fun. Just like girls, I, Zeos, want to have fun. Here is the main unit. Here's your port, which if you stick your finger in, it goes whoo, and you can see a picture of it on the internet. You get two knobs, a volume knob and a bass knob. Now, I've got the volume nailed because I'm I was going to control it with that, but that also doesn't have a remote, so I'm controlling it with just foobar. I never, in the hotel room, coming off a straight solid-state DAC off my laptop, I was using a little SU1, ever brought this past 50% volume. It was loud enough. The bass knob is interesting, because here's the thing about the bass knob. It's not severe. It almost is an unnoticeable difference. There's a difference, but it isn't like, it doesn't do that. It's very subtle, because it's not a bass knob for people who want, like, oh, I want to hear some wub-wubs. It's for tonal adjustment against a wall. When this has got some wall behind it, when it's on a real desk, if it sounds a little bit boomy, you turn that bass knob down, and it just removes the boom. It's an actual delicate adjustment, which is fucking rare for a bass knob on almost anything. The Shelly Labs thing is like, whoa. So we're not that. We have an input button, which switches literally between only two inputs. You have a line 1 RCA. Again, RI Cables from Italy sent these out, so thank you to them. You have a line in 2, which is a 3.5 millimeter. That's it. There's also no click or indicator which one's going. If I just put Mark back on, hold on. I know you guys love to see the wallpapers and this, and that's great, but fucking respect the Loop Daddy. Okay. Press input, Mark goes away. Press input again, Mark comes back. Because there's only two things. I would have fucking bet money that FiiO would have put a Bluetooth receiver in this. Because it's a speaker, and it's a $300 speaker in 2023. You put Bluetooth in it, and they didn't. So I'm a little bit confused. So I'm like, okay, that would make them really useful if they had Bluetooth. They don't. They're also metal boxes, which would mean if they made a Bluetooth, they'd have to have some sort of way to get the antenna not inside of it. So we've got volume. When you want it, gotta tip when you want it. He's so good live. Bass, you got an input switch, which is just this or that. You get the RGB button, which if you press it once, it'll either go from a solid color, like fading up and down. If you double press it, it'll change like mode. It'll go to the rainbow mode. If you double press it again, it does fast swoop. I managed to, there's just full rainbow where it's all different colors. You could even shut it off if you really felt like it. I had it on purple. I was very happy with it on purple, or solid rainbow is fine. Do I think it needs RGB? I get to do this now. No, it doesn't need RGB. Nothing needs RGB. The fact that it has it, is it going to be a selling point for some people? You bet your ass it will be. Someone's going to go out and buy these specifically because they want RGB speakers. And I'm here to tell you that these are the first RGB speakers that don't suck. Can't say that for a fact. I don't know if there's some better, maybe Amphion or something made RGB speakers. But anyway, back to the back of this because we're almost done. There's one more thing. Actually, there's a power button here, which powers off, powers on. That's it. That's the point of the power button. And then there's a switch right here which says L and R. Got a tip when you want it. Got a tip. It's got the thing that if you've been watching this channel for more than like a month, you've probably seen me complain that most powered speakers do not have the option to choose where the master side is. So like the side with the inputs, the side that takes the power, this side's all the way over here doing nothing. You'll be amazed how many speakers are like, you know what? Right speaker is the master. And I am fucked here in this basement because that means I got to run all the shit, all the signal and everything all the way to this side. And I don't want to do that. So I'm begging, like the Kanto Tux you double press some fucking remote control buttons and it swaps. So you could put it at the more convenient spot. The thing is, with these speakers, however, since there's no Bluetooth, since there's no digital input, the only reason you'd have to flip that left and right switch is if you're using the 3.5 millimeter input. Because guess what? If I reverse the RCA plugs, I could accomplish the same thing. So why did they add it? Why this pair of speakers, Lord? Why this pair? There's so many other pairs that need that more than this pair. But this pair got it. Whatever. I'm not gonna. But then why? I'm glad we got that. I needed to get that out of my system. This is the first review since Munich, and I'm all fucked up. These speakers sound $300. That's just straight up. They have the detail, the clarity, the imaging. When they're in a slightly smaller environment, this is way too much, but I really don't have a specific, I guess I could set up like a desk setup back there, like against the wall. I need to figure out a place to set up a desk that makes sense, because everything in Zeo's life is massive fucking studio monitors and stuff. And when I use these in Munich, when I used them on a desk, when I used them, I actually had them upstairs in my kitchen for a little while, and they sounded really good up there. Perfect small desk. Probably per size, if you're going for the smallest, you'd have to dig up some Neumanns to really be like, okay, these might be better than the FiiO's. And I honestly, I can't verify that. These might be the best sounding tiny S speakers. iLoud Micros, these are better than the iLoud Micros. Those have Bluetooth, however, and bass and treble control. It's a little bit different. Like this has a bass. They want a sub so fucking bad. I was gonna bring a subwoofer down, and then another thing, they don't have like a wiring up for a sub. Like if the 3.5 became an output when you use the RCA input, that would be super easy to be like, plug it into a sub, boom, you got a sub, and it can control the volume. You have to control the volume with the knob. So the knob here is.
To get an A, thank you.
So you have to control the volume with the powered speaker, with the master speaker, and you've got to do it with the reach around, which I know if you're a fan of Zeo's, if you're subscribed to this channel, you are a proficient master of the reach around, because you got to plug in things. You know what I mean? And it's backwards in your head because you got to turn it counterclockwise to make the volume go up. And I can't tell you how many times I jumped out of bed in Munich and I was like, oh fuck, this scene in, what anime was I watching? I was catching up. Oh, I watched some wild shit. It was like women were screaming. I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm killing someone here. And I ran to go lower it, and I turned the knob the way you'd lower it, and I was making it louder. So it's a little bit like.
Like that. It's a Sunday, baby, looking good like that. Looking nice, baby, looking good like that. Looking good, baby, you're looking good like that. Looking nice, baby, looking good like that. Oh,
listen to this.
Yeah, she's looking good and she's rocking, baby.
This is not quiet.
Rock that shit on the corner, baby. Feeling real goddamn.
Mark. It is not just volume. Like, I'm not here to say, oh, they're the loudest, best speaker, loud and best. They're subtle. If I lower them down and I raise the bass up a little bit, and we move these like, I don't know, a little bit closer here, like where you would see a thing, and then I get a ball, an audiophile ball. I need to add this to my document where I have just things I link all the time, because the audiophile ball.
You need to follow me. You certainly do.
Wait, where's the?
Mark with a C. Yeah, that.
Here we go.
Tell the good people your name. Faraha.
Boom, one.
Beautiful earrings, beautiful outfit, beautiful vibe, man.
Two.
Oh, really? Faraha.
Now we've got almost where you'd have it on a desk. We're missing the wall. We're missing the monitor.
We could do something with that. Faraha.
But like right here, like where I'm sitting.
Faraha. What's that?
You done got me all messed up out here today.
Here, come over here. Come right over here. We're gonna say hello. You gotta say hello to the good people.
You could just hear, like,
How y'all doing today?
it's so clear.
This is Faraha.
Thank you.
And then if you want to shut them off, again, reach around, hit the power button. So it's just like, they're specifically designed for a desk, and they're specifically designed to pretty much not be controlled by their volume knob. They want another DAC. They want that. I could bring that over here, and I could put this back on, and I could turn this up to 1,000,000, and I could lower this, bring this over.
Oh, okay. We've got never give up, and we've got never ever give up.
So here, we're gonna crank that. Now I have this volume knob.
You got it. It's Mark with a C, and then you put an R after that, and you'll find me right there.
He's a madman. Do I have a remote? Do I have a keyboard? Oh, God. Let's skip ahead a little bit to like when he's actually getting into it. He's working the crowd, but right there, like there's bass here. I talked about the port chuffing. If you try to do a room, if you back it up, and if you have that bass knob anywhere half or above, you're going to hear the ports chuff. You know the sound of it, just like you're pushing it too hard. It loves being pushed hard. It just can't. It can't do it. Here on a desk, which is what we're going to pretend we're doing right now, you don't need to push him that loud. You don't need to get him louder than like... This is perfect. Also, the height here is perfect too. So if you had him on a desk, I've got him on like essentially like a 3 or 4 inch, maybe a yoga block would probably work. To put them like right here, the angle is perfect. They're lined up right with my eyes. It's just, it's a wonderful place to be. And you can't do it. It's a great alternative to the iLoud Micros. I think the OS 10s, the Swans that are no longer in stock forever and ever and ever, you got a remote control, you got Bluetooth. They honestly look better. The Swans look better, but those handle the room placement better. I think they're probably going to be on close to equal footing here, but these are specifically...
Sunday! Up!
I'm just looking forward and I'm getting...
Yeah.
Actually, here, I'm going to mute this. Windows key M. We'll bring up foobar and we'll play some illegal music that'll get me immediately closed. Like, that's FLAC, though. That's like, oh my God. This is, by the way, is some of the tracks I use in my sound demos. I haven't done the sound demo for these yet. If you want to check out my sound demos, patrons for $5 or higher get access to all the sound demos that are ever been made and are being made. And you get your own videos and privately. But yeah, no. Oh, fuck. Check out my Patreon subscribe star. They're good in the room, but they have the limitations. Like they're tiny. They're great here. And this is where people want to know about them. They want to know about them here. Right? How about standing right here, Zeos? With a wall behind these, and you had a little more bass reflection, you'd actually have to turn that knob down to get like to balance it. This is Maiko Kaji Ona no Juomon, Jyumon, and the album is Zenkyoko Shu. Good luck. If I use it in a sound demo, you'll know. It's just the tweeter is miraculously good. For FiiO's first like it would almost have made more sense if FiiO made a larger speaker, because then they could have used this exact tweeter. They could have used a 5 1/4 instead of this little. I don't even know. I think it's a 4. I think it's like a 3 1/2. They could have made like a speaker for a room speaker. And then offered this as a smaller alternative. The thing is, that speaker will be $600-700. The thing is, that speaker would probably be worth $600 or $700. Just from where I'm sitting, let's shuffle through this. Yoshi Horikawa. Imaging is stellar. It's one of the most sorted tweeters I've ever heard on a near-field set of anything. Studio monitors, desktop speakers, passives, audiophile shit. It's sorted. And I usually hate the metal like colander grill because I find it blocks a lot of air. But it's perfect. Like that's it. They've designed it. FiiO's engineers have, I don't know, they've all drank a shit ton of Red Bull and they're actually making. Oh, speaking of Mark Ribbier, I actually ripped this. I ripped one of his YouTube videos to take this out and put it in the sound demos. Go to his April 9th, 2023, We're We Outside video. A dude with a violin just shows up on the streets of Manhattan and just jumps in and starts playing. Right. And he holds the microphone to the dude with the violin, and it's just fucking amazing. It's a mono violin, just with his voice microphone just held against it. Like you hear the depth of it, like the whoa. It's so, there's nothing around these. This is the absolute worst case scenario for these speakers for low end, and they're still pulling it off. So, do they have a remote? No. Do they have Bluetooth? No. Do they have an easy to use volume control? No. Do they work in near field? Fuck yes, 10 out of 10. Do they work in a room? Honestly, I'm gonna give them a 7 or 8 out of 10. If you turn the bass knob down and you don't try to push them too hard, I would be perfectly fine running these for a TV set of TV speakers. You have no digital input, so you're gonna be looking for a DAC or using that wire with a 3.5 if your TV has a 3.5. Sony's do. Sony's have a headphone out that you can just plug in. Otherwise, you're gonna be looking for a DAC, or you wanna get the little FiiO box and make the full, like, if these would self-power, you could have this and the FiiO box with the thing and have the coolest boombox on earth. But yeah, anyway, I'm giving these a reco. These get a full reco. Oh, here's a great song for ruining the bass. There, you could hear the port. Hold on. Yeah, that brrr, it's like I'm trying. It's trying way too hard. Let's lower that bass down. Better. Yeah, no, it's they're a speaker to be reckoned with, honestly. And I hope that this succeeds. I wish they were $200. I feel like $300, and not including Bluetooth or remote or anything like that, it's going to be like, If they were $200, it'd be super easy. $300, you're now looking at like actual money. Like you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to wait till the end of time for the Swans to come back in stock? Are you going to wait a couple months for the iLoud micros to come on sale? Because I got my set for $200 and they were $300. Or are you just going to bite the bullet and get these? Because they have RGB, so that means automatically people are going to fucking buy them. I've got it on like a nice like white blue right now. It's not bad. It's not bad. Again, I wouldn't shut them off because there's no reason to shut them off. They don't get warm. Of course, they are mounted in a giant metal box. But yeah, no, anyway. It's actually, I have that down 15 decibels. So let's do this now. Shit. These are a speaker that if someone who's never heard good sound, if you get these and put them on your computer desk, you look at them and you go, huh, look at those little vintage computer speakers you've got from the 90s or early 2000s. They got a very Matrix thing. If they made this green, it would be like super Matrix. But then you turn on the volume and it's all of a sudden it's like what the fuck? These are a what the fuck speaker. They sound very like, I didn't know speakers of small could do that. I mean, I know because I'm Zeos, but most people will not have known. Very big, they've got just this big sound, and that tweeter is doing spectacular things. And the driver is perfectly balanced. If you got a sub, I wish upon a golden fucking fish that there was a switch on the back of this, or that the bass knob could actually go down, and you could be like, look, no low end here. Don't even try. I've got a sub. And then they'd be perfect. Because then you could just crank the shit out of them, and it would be flawless with a sub. As of right now, you're still gonna, if it throws the low end, if you got a low end song kicking up, I don't know if this is a low end song, but I'm gonna jump on it anyway. Oof, Transcendence and Hannah's Eve? No. So yeah, I'm giving the FiiO's, the SP3s. These are the SP3s, right? That's, I'm watching that. Yeah, the FiiO SP3s, I'm giving 4 out of 5 stars. They need a couple more creature comforts at this price, but I'm going to give FiiO a break because it's their first speaker. This is them branching out, and they've actually taken a ton of time to make these sound good. It's now just a matter of will they find their audience? Actually, it's not silver. The other ones are white. You can see a picture of them there. But you know, they've gone above and beyond as far as sound quality goes. I did not expect. I expected them to be like adequate, and I would give them like a thumbs up, but like a half-hearted thumbs up. No. These are a full-fledged fuck you thumbs up from Z Reviews, and well, nobody who heard them at Munich, because no one came to my hotel room. Probably smart that way. you like climb into the ball of sound right there. So yeah, links to these on APOS. Thank you to APOS for sending it out. I think FiiO themselves might actually send me the white pair. So at some point in the future, you're probably going to see me do a comparison or have them set up on the desk. A lot of the stuff I do on the desk, I'm always like, oh man, I wish I had a pair of speakers to like show it off. I could probably put these next to equipment on my desk. You wouldn't even notice it. They just sneak in onto the desk and be like, oh, there's speakers now. So yeah, links to these on APOS, links to the DAC, link to the FiiO. Is it the Q7? Whatever the big portable is. Patreon subscribe star, please, God help me, support this channel. Because you guys are the reason I'm here, all right? It's never been anyone else. It's always been the supporters. Without you, I am nothing. I am dirt. I grovel at your feet. And I provide you the wallpapers, which are available in the wallpaper hoard. Every wallpaper I've ever used ever is down there. You just have to set up Resilio Sync. And when I moved that to the folder right before this video, everyone on Earth got it. Well, 500 people got it. So yeah, Patreon subscribe star. See reviews early, participate in yard sales, which these will not be in. They're just too adorable and cute and good. And I'm gonna need to compare them against some other ones in the future. But so $5 a month, see reviews early, which you're currently doing, I think. Participate in yard sales, which are coming up 1st to the 10th of every month, and I ship continental United States and Canada for free, and internationally for half shipping. So whatever the shipping charge is half. Sound demos, like we were talking about. If you want to hear the sound demo for these, I'm going to get another set of speakers down here, get them broken in and review them. So it might be like a week or two after these videos come live, you'll see the sound demo. But that's all for $5 a month, which is nothing with inflation. That's like, you can't even get a hot dog for $5 fucking dollars. For $10 a month, you get into the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat where you can ask me questions directly, communicate with other members who are crazy enough to get in that chat, which is actually a great bunch of dudes. Probably some girls too. I think Pasta's in there. Does she count? Pasta, do you count? I feel like she's more interested in audio than I am at some points. So yeah, so $5 a month, $10 a month for that. You also get a lifetime swap meet at admittance when you're in the $10 chat. So if you want to buy, sell, or trade gear with some other people, you are an exclusive club. I think there's 369 people in the swap meet. So that's a pretty good little pool of people who want to either buy things or sell things. And yeah, no, I'm done. You're done. We're done. Hi-Fi Guides. Thank you to my sponsors who took me to Munich. I'm still haven't walked that out. And I'm going to just lay down now and take a 6-hour nap because that's all I do lately because I'm broken. I'm a broken man. But at least I'll have good music.